Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical, and today I'm gonna bring you a very controversial video series on the Israeli shooting method. Specifically, pistol skills, basic, intermediate, and advanced. I had the honor and privilege recently of being invited to a school in the Czech Republic, taught by some very squared away instructors who live by and practice and teach this method that is known as the Israeli shooting method. Now, it's fine that you guys get involved in the comments below, and I know the comments are gonna go crazy on this, but what I do ask is that you keep an open mind, because in the tactical world, there's not always a clear right or wrong set of tactics or training method for everyone. Everybody has different needs, and there are some things that work for some people and some things that don't work for that said person, but will work for other people, right? So what's important is that you find what works for you and that you practice it until it becomes habit. What I'm gonna ask is that you keep an open mind, because I can guarantee you that in this video, there's something for everyone, regardless of your skill set, how much you know, or your level of experience. So this is the basic pistol drill and course, and this is how it really starts off. Starts with stance training. They pretty much have assumed at this point in this particular class, everybody has firearms experience. So as far as like grip and pistol function, a lot of the people come with their own pistols at this point. So they are correcting that type of stuff as they go. It is interesting that they use a very, what's considered in the United States as an older form of the very rigid stance, fully locked out arms. And from there we get into the push out and draw stroke. So getting into the draw stroke, very similar stuff here, with the major glaring exception that the Israeli method, they don't use a round in the chamber. So they don't necessarily carry with a round in the chamber in the Israeli method. Other than that, it's everything close to the body. The hands come together. The push out's all very similar. Everything's pretty much the same. And we're practicing that here. One of the cool things is these guys have a little drill where they go milling about, and then the first person that draws their firearm, everybody else has to really quickly target that person. There are safety rods in the guns that you can see at this point, the little orange things, and the safety rules are a little bit different. So in this live fire training, what the instructors are doing is they're milling around as well. They're checking everything out, and they're making sure that the people here in the school and the classes are actually doing a good job integrating the stuff that they're learning and really just helping out everybody with what they see needs to be focused on at this point. We move right into shooting from different positions. In the beginner class and with the Israeli shooting method, something that's really cool is they do teach a lot of the shoot, move, communicate principles. They teach to load in the kneeling position, which helps reduce the size as a target basically. And so we get into practicing moving from standing to kneeling. I do find it a little bit more difficult to move into a kneeling position from the feet square traditional Israeli method to my offset stance that I normally use. But again, guys like Lucas and the instructors in this course are really squared away, and it just goes to prove that if you do a ton of training and this becomes your personality, it becomes who you are, then in a real world situation, if you need to use this stuff in combat or as in a self-defense situation, you're gonna be able to do this stuff and it's gonna be part of you. And getting it down pat is just really at the end of the day more important than what method. Choose your method and get to training. Get that experience and get that practice. Another thing that these guys do a really good job of is integrating stress into training, and that's very controversial in the United States. In fact, it's very difficult to find a training course or school or even a range that would allow you to do most of what you're gonna see in the future of this video. It's just very difficult for safety reasons, what we call safety reasons in the United States. And it's so important to train under stress if you can, okay? So these guys obviously all are in decent enough physical fitness. They have the mental ability to do all this, and all these people carry these firearms or have enough experience to begin training under stress. But you can see this drill of the mag changes with under stress, and then actually doing it with people yelling at you and all this kind of stuff. You'll get into, in the future, actually getting touched and stuff like that, which is just in my opinion, really great training. So now we're getting into malfunction training. Instructor Lucas is showing his version of the tap rack bang method. Very standard stuff even for you American guys. One thing I do like is they do a lot of work with the firearm upside down. Lucas does his draw stroke because he doesn't carry with a round in the chamber. He flips to here and then pushes out, so that's something interesting. Let me know if you like that method or not. And I really think that it's just good thinking outside the box, that if you have something in your firearm that is protruding, right, they do the draw to here, rack on the way out, push out, right? They do a control, which is like a check, right? Looking at the firearm. And if you see something sticking out, what we teach is just slam it out like that. Well, Lucas has a methodology to where they flip the firearm upside down for that as well, and it makes sense because of gravity, right? And if the gun's upside down, anything that's stuck inside is much more likely to fall out. So that's the failure to eject methodology there in the Israeli method, and then we move right along to the double feed methodology, which in pretty much any training that you're going to do, it requires you to drop the magazine. So you have to get rid of the magazine in order to clear a double feed, right? Because you're just going to keep feeding more rounds in there if the magazine's in. One of the cool things about the Israeli method is you don't actually have to drop the magazine. Lucas is showing you here where you can stick the magazine depending on what position you're in, where you should put the magazine to hold it and then do the drill and then put it back in the firearm, and then places that maybe you shouldn't carry the magazine where it could just cause you to drop it and lose it. So here's a couple pointers. Feel free to watch this on repeat and really zone in and see what Lucas is teaching here. There's two more major malfunctions actually, but there's one more major malfunction that we'll discuss right now, and that's when the round either expands or gets stuck in the chamber for some reason or another, and the slide won't move at all. And a really cool thing that Lucas teaches as well with this, and that these guys teach with their method, is to really grip the top of the slide and bang the palm section to get that broken free, because it allows you to give a lot more strength. So in a quick review, the basics and the level 1 beginning pistol course for these guys, what they've taught, and there's a lot more that was with it, but this is kind of the highlights. Use of the pistol, your stance, push out, actual fundamentals, malfunction clearing, magazine changes, and really just going through and using the pistol in a few different body positions and shooting positions, mainly standing and kneeling, all right? And that's a lot actually to cover, but if you do go through and look at the techniques, you'll see that it's some cool stuff, and then all of these drills are things that you can practice on your own. So I hope this helps. Get out there and practice, guys. Thanks for watching. Bone out.
Dáme naspäť. Hej, nerobili sme to tak, že sme to dokončili a že sme to dali sem, aby sme to urýchlili, ale na tom není nič. Hej, vymeniť si, doraziť, dať naspäť.